Okay, let's be real. Have you ever asked an AI a question and gotten back something, well, completely useless? You know, it's generic, it's just plain wrong, or it's not even close to what you asked for. It's super frustrating, right? But what if I told you the problem isn't the AI? It's how we're asking. So let's dive into the art and science of crafting the perfect prompt. See, the key to unlocking these amazing AI results isn't about knowing some complex code. This quote from our source material at Google nails it. Anyone can learn this stuff. It's not for data scientists. It's just about changing the way we talk to AI and turning our simple questions into powerful, really targeted instructions. So in this explainer, here's what we're going to do. We'll start with the art of the prompt itself. Then we'll learn how to dial in the AI settings, see how to teach it with examples, get it to think through problems, and we'll finish up with a toolkit of simple rules you can start using like right away. So what are we really talking about here? It's not just about, firing off questions. It's about designing a real conversation with a machine that's been trained on just a mind-boggling amount of text. The fancy term for it is prompt engineering. And honestly, the most important word on this slide is guide. You're not just demanding an answer, you're guiding a prediction engine. You're setting it on the right path so it can predict the sequence of words that makes up the perfect response you're looking for. Now, it's not just about the words you use. Most of these models have settings you can tweak. Think of them like control dials. And the most important one for shaping the, let's call it the personality of the AI's response, is something called temperature. Just think of temperature as a creativity dial. If you turn it way down, close to zero, the AI gets really focused and factual. It's always going to pick the most likely, most predictable next word. But if you turn it up, it gets more random, more creative. It's willing to take some risks with its word choices. And this slide just shows you how big a difference it makes. I mean, look at this. On the left, with a low temperature, the AI is on a super tight leash. The response is factual, it sticks to the script. That's great for summaries or pulling up facts. But on the right, we crank the temperature way up, and boom, its creative side is unleashed. Now it's taking risks, exploring less obvious words, and it's perfect for things like brainstorming or creative writing. It's the exact same AI, just a different setting on that creativity dial. All right, so one of the most powerful ways to guide an AI isn't just telling it what to do, it's showing it. This is where we move from just asking to actually teaching the model exactly what we want. So the most basic approach, and probably what you're already doing, is called a zero-shot prompt. You give it 0 examples. You just make your request, and you're relying completely on everything the model already knows. For instance, you can just hand it a movie review and ask it to classify the sentiment. Is it positive, neutral, or negative? And, for a simple task like this, a zero-shot prompt usually works totally fine. But what about more complex stuff? Well, that's when we level up to few-shot prompting. Instead of 0 examples, you give it a few. A one-shot prompt gives it one, few-shot gives it several. And what this does is it teaches the AI the specific pattern or the structure you're looking for in its answer. And this is a brilliant illustration of that. What we're doing here is asking the AI to turn a casual pizza order into a really structured, clean format. By showing it a couple of examples of how we want it to handle different orders, we're basically teaching it the exact format we need. The AI isn't guessing anymore. It's learning the pattern from you and applying it correctly. It's so powerful. Okay, this next technique, this is where things get really, really cool. These models, these LLMs, they're prediction engines, right? They're not calculators, so they often fail at reasoning tasks. But we can actually change that just by prompting them to mimic how a human thinks. So let's check this out with a simple logic puzzle. Take a second, solve this in your head. Okay, so if I was 3, my partner was 9. That's a 6-year age difference. So if I'm 20 now, my partner should be 26. Simple, right? But look what happens when we just ask the AI directly. It gets it so wrong. 63, not even close. Now look at the right. All we did was add one simple phrase. Let's think step by step. And that prompts it not just for an answer, but for a process. It's forced to slow down, break the problem apart, and reason its way to the correct solution. I mean, that one little phrase makes all the difference. This is what's called chain of thought prompting. You're not just asking for the final answer. You're asking for the work, the process. By forcing the model to generate all those intermediate reasoning steps, you guide it along a logical path, and that dramatically increases its accuracy on really complex problems. So we've covered some really powerful techniques here. Let's wrap this all up with a simple toolkit, 4 actionable rules from the source material that you can start using right now to get way better results from any AI. First up, be specific. Don't just say, write about video games. Say, write a 3-paragraph blog post about the top 5 best-selling video game consoles of all time in a conversational and enthusiastic style. The more detail you give it, format, tone, content, the better your result is going to be. Second, when in doubt, just provide examples. Like we saw with few-shot prompting, showing the AI what you want is almost always more effective than just telling it. This is probably the single best way to improve accuracy. Third, tell the AI what to do, not what not to do. So instead of saying, don't mention the names of any video games, say something like, for each console, only discuss the parent company, the year it was released, and total units sold. Positive instructions are just clearer and get you better results. And finally, keep it simple. Your prompts should be clear and concise. A good rule of thumb is if a prompt is confusing for you to read, it's definitely going to be confusing for the model. Use clear action words, get straight to the point. So, prompting isn't about getting some magic answer out of a black box. It's about having a structured, guided conversation. And now you have the tools to be a much, much better conversationalist. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. Now that you can guide the conversation, what will you ask next?